Hey there. So now I've gone back to the original horse kind of rough-in that we established. And so now I've also loaded in, I've gone to the tool, load tool, and I've loaded in the model that we were working with before. But there's one modification that I really need to make to this, and that is that we have to adjust the skeleton to account for different poly groups so that we can really pose this. And we're not really set up for that. And there's a couple of problems. I'm going to show you the way to do it, but first let me show you problems. So one approach that you might have is to go into polygroups and just say auto group everything. And then you might try to select just one epicondyle, come in and select the other one, and then you have to hide different parts and you can group visible. That's an option. Okay, it's a little labor intensive in my view, but it is an option. Another option is you can come in and press Control Shift and drag out a rectangle. Okay, make sure you have symmetry on. And then you can go into visibility and say grow it. But occasionally, especially if it's decimated, it's just not going to behave correctly and adhere to topological constraints. It does something else entirely. So this doesn't work either. So let me show you a really cool way. It's actually in polygroups. You're going to move, and we're going to use topological masking. So Control click and drag to some other bone and group unmasked. Group unmasked. Just like that. Okay, go ahead and just mask these guys. You can combine them later, but right now it's going to be easiest to just come through and do that. And I will merge them, and I do want the sternum to be separate. But you always have to go from one bone to another bone. Always has to happen. Okay. Da-da-da. And group the unmasked. Let's do the patella, fibula, tarsal mass, heel. Just going to get those a different color. Doesn't want to group them a different color. Let's get these. Okay, what else do we need to do? Skull. And we have feet and hands and all that. So let's come into our carpal mass. This is going to be a bit of a beast. But what I'm going to do right now is start hiding parts. Okay. Alright. So I've hid parts here. This is going to make it a little easier for me to mask off and group. So for example, the hands. Just going to mask that and say group masked. Mask the teeth. Group mask. Clear the mask. Group the feet. Group masked. Okay. Now we've got all of the parts ready. So let's just peel back some of the muscles. Just take a quick look and see how much trouble we're in. Okay. Doesn't look too shabby, but we may consider merging some items. That's going to be one of the things we really want to look at. So I'm going to hide all of these ribs. This is a little laborious the way I'm doing this right now, but it makes a difference. And let's come in there. And then we have to hide all the muscles. I'm going to show you an easier way in a moment. Okay, just large global shifts too. So group visible. Okay, what else do we need to do that merges them? I want to really merge the patella with the tibia. Make those one group. What about the feet? I want to merge the feet as one. Group masked. So let's see. Let's try that out. Yes, that worked. I was worried. Okay, let's check our hand. Alright, group masked. I don't know how I lost them, but fine. Let's check in on the teeth. Let's do it from the inside. Okay. Something's happening with the hands, so let's try something else. I'm going to hide the spine, and I'm going to say group visible. I'm going to hide the hand and group visible. Okay, the hand is separated. The spine looks reasonably separated, and the teeth. Alright, so that's a quick technical look at what we can do to kind of sort through that a little quicker. And now in the next section we'll actually get into the posing.